Hello, everyone, and welcome to a video on pirate software by Pyrocynical. This is a video that shouldn't really have to be made because it involves a bunch of grown-ass men complaining that mistakes happened in a video game, and because of the mode they chose to play on, there were permanent consequences that wouldn't be permanent if they chose to play on any other mode. So they chose to do something that could have these consequences, and then on purpose, and then face those consequences. And most of them aren't even mad. Like, it's really, like, their audience that's mad, which is the funniest bit ever. From what I'm getting at, everyone in the stream is playing a character both IRL and in the game, not just in the game because it's a role play. Pirate Software, of course, being both a troll mage and a pirate. We're gonna go with both, right? When told to run, it takes the orders, tries to slow them down, and fails, and then just continues to bail because he was told to run. And when someone tells you to run, especially if you're a pirate or a troll mage, you run, right? So he continued with the original plan instead of let the indecisiveness of the weird new plans they kept fucking making up on the spot continue, right? Like, legit, they should have just all run. All continued to run, and not expected the really shitty Blizzard thing to work. So I blame them for their own deaths. I blame, I guess, Pirate Software for casting a bad spell to CC. I don't really, I guess that's all I can blame him for. I mean, I can blame him for that. It was very bad CC. It didn't really do shit. But ultimately, he cast a CC spell and then continued with the orders that he was given. They were ordered to run, so he ran. That's what he was told to do. And people are mad at him for doing what he was told on a team. Because they were indecisive later, which is, really stupid to complain about. Like, there's legit issues with Pirate Software, and people are talking about some bullshit with a video game that doesn't affect anyone IRL at all. And as many people have said, a lot of the people are just clip farming for attention. It's literally just drama to drive up views. For all of them. So really the audience doesn't know this, but they're actually screwing themselves over, and none of the people actually involved actually give a shit. It's all just for money and attention from all of them at the end of the day, including Pirate Software, but ultimately, so same with Tyler One, Makari, and all the others, right? Because that's what ultimately this is. It's a fucking drama. Designed to spike views up by giving attention to everyone for dumb reasons. Like I said, it's just a video game. This would be like complaining that someone did an impossible run in Dead Space and died on the final boss, right? Like, yeah, that happens. Like, you can complain that it happened in the moment, but creating a drama out of that, it's what we call retarded, right? But, like, that's a thing that can happen, right? You can literally have a hardcore character die at the final boss in a lot of these games. Now, I don't really think there is a true final boss because it's World of Warcraft in this situation. I mean, I quit 18 years ago because I just found it fucking boring. Like, the thing is, the first 2 years were fun, but then, like, third or fourth year in, I'm like, Tug, I'm just doing the same shit over and over again, right? Because the point of an MMO is really you play with your friends. After the first 2 years of WoW, there were already better MMOs, but people continued to play WoW instead because they had their community. It's the same with, like, Warframe, right? there are better games doing what Warframe does than Warframe, or at least there were in 2020 when, like, I had my down period. Now that I think Warframe improved enough that it went up, but in 2020 there were better games than Warframe to play. I only continued to play Warframe because that's where my friends were. Now, Warframe improved to be past those spin-offs, so it actually doesn't matter anymore what I said. But like World of Warcraft doesn't really seem to have improved. And I didn't make a lot of friends here. I had friends in other games like Call of Duty and Killing Floor, so that's what I played. And so, like, that's the thing, right? These are like games where people pretty much put up with the game rather than actually like the game, is a good way to like describe World of Warcraft in the first place. You put up with it because your friends are playing it and your friends are fun, but the game isn't. Is really like my experience with World of Warcraft. Now, I mean, it's fun for a bit, but like this is 20 years. Like, people don't have fun with the one game where you barely do anything for 20 years, right? You're having fun because it's interactions with friends. Ultimately, that's what this is. None of the people are having fun with WoW. They're having fun with each other. Which is still fun, right? It's still good. Like, it's still good that the game does that. I'm just explaining, like, how MMOs work and why, like, some fail to maintain retention even though they're better games than others. And it's literally because people actually play more for the community than they do for the actual game in a lot of these, right? I mean, it's why VR chat took off. There's literally no game. It's just community, and it's so amazing. Because people could do whatever the fuck they want in that, right? So people do, and they all have fun, and there's like sex parties sometimes and shit, right? There's a bunch of cringe stuff like that happens, conventions, all that, right? There's conventions that happen inside the video game, right? Like in World of Warcraft, you have to go to a building and everyone smells, right? Because they play World of Warcraft and they don't shower enough, like that's the thing, right? But in reality, right, like most people, when you get down to the nitty gritty, right, VR chat is like the ultimate social game because it's like, hey, look, none of these games are really actual games because you can't actually have a deep gameplay in an MMO. That's like every single deep gameplay MMO has flopped. By the way, is another thing, because like people actually don't care if there's no community around it. The people don't give a shit, right? And that's sort of the thing, right? Like most games have a shelf life for the game, but MMOs have this weird thing where if they can build enough of a community early on, it doesn't really matter that the game is ultimately just like worse than every other game out there. Because the community is larger and more impactful, right? That's the thing. That's like how WoW survives. Like it's been shit for at least 10 years. Even like if we, even if we give them the benefit of the doubt that that I was just someone who didn't enjoy the game that much. 10 years ago, the game started sucking. Like anyone will pretty much tells you that. But it's not really like the game really was that good even then. It got like that's when it jumped the shark. It was all downhill from there, right? It already did the coolest trick. Now they're all dialed back, right? Once you jump the shark, everything else seems lame. That's another thing. A lot of people say jump the shark towards the point of falling off. That's not what jump the shark is. Jump the shark means you did the coolest shit ever. Now everything else is lamer, right? Because jumping the shark is cool, right? You jump the shark, right? It's cool. I hate when people say you jump the shark as if like, and it's all downhill from there, and then like use it as, hey, this series like is kind of bad now. Like that's not fucking jumping the shark. It's going ridiculous and cool, but then you can't outdo that anymore because you already did the coolest thing. Right? Like that's what jumping the shark means. It means you can't get any crazier. So you're always gonna suck from now. Right? It's the coolest thing ever, but now you can't get better than that, right? That's what jumping the shark actually means. That's why it's called jumping the shark and not falling off a cliff, right? Like people describe it as falling off the cliff. It's jumping the shark. The phrase explains itself, right? You did the coolest shit. Now everything is going to be dialed back because you can't out-cool the coolest shit. Like, that's not possible. So since you already did that, well, now everything's going to feel worse now, right? That's what jumping the shark actually means. And WoW did jump the shark. Now, for me, it was never actually that cool. So, I mean, you know, when people describe this jumping the shark moment, I don't really get it. But it does look cool in the actual lore. So maybe, right? It definitely feels cool to watch. I don't really see the gameplay helping much, but like the lore definitely. I mean, to be fair, that's like the thing with like World of Warcraft. Like the lore is amazing too, for the most part, right? So yeah, like obviously you're going to have some cool shit with that too. But let's face it, it's mostly the community because the gameplay sucks. The quests are kind of, you know, they kind of get stale because you're doing the same 3 tasks the whole time for the most part. But what doesn't get stale, right, is friends. Like, you know, when you do raid parties and shit, that's all cool. That's all fun, right? But you know, that's the thing. You're enjoying that, right? You're not enjoying pressing tab and 1, right? You're enjoying and like maybe occasionally like clicking on buttons, right? That's not fun. That's a job, right? Well, it's literally like what a job is like it's just like, you know, looking up buttons to press and they do stuff and that's it, right? Like that's not fun, right? Like, yeah, all video games you technically press buttons to do stuff, but when I press a button in any other video game, there's more active action with it, right? Like, there just is, right? You know? In World of Warcraft, it's like the animation is kind of mid. Something that clearly hits on my screen isn't necessarily a hit, right? Because they can, you know, dodge or just randomly you'll just fucking miss, right? And all sorts of things. It's all like the dice rolls and stuff, right? Now, it's definitely a fun game early on, though. Like, I will say this. It's not like 2 years I wasn't having fun and then I got bored because the game was just shit. I wouldn't have had any fun if the game was shit, right? What I mean by, like, they have no staying power. It's like, if I'm going to replay a game from my childhood, it would not be WoW, right? It would be like Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil 3, like the original Resident Evil 3 or 2, fairly good, right? I like the remakes too, but like the originals just have a bit of je ne sais quoi. I mean, I don't know, like everyone talks about cut content from 3. I mean, they did cut out the penis worm, which I actually am grateful for. Like, everyone's like defending the grave digger. I'm like, dog, that's literally just a dick that you kill twice, and both times it's like not really a boss fight. You just kind of like you know, move a little thing here and then shoot and then move a thing there. And then that's the boss fight. You do that twice. And both times it's not Nemesis. And it's extremely bad because Nemesis is actually a cool boss fight, unlike the Gravemind. So I do like that they made the boss just Nemesis, right, in his forms. That's like not actually a problem I have, right? My problem was everything else that, you know, they changed. Like no clock tower. Like clock tower being taken out, I think, was actually a bad problem, right? Like, I don't mind that they expanded hospital. I don't mind that they, took out Gravedigger, but I do mind that they took out Clock Tower, right? Like, Clock Tower was actually really cool with, like, the puzzles and shit. To be fair, there's just, like, no puzzles with RE3, remake, too. So they also took those out, which I don't like, you know? That's my thing. Like, everyone talks about length, but the game is actually longer. People just feel like it's shorter because the original, there's a lot more backtracking. Whereas RE3 Nemesis, you can kind of just plot it out as straight lines. Like, you literally, in RE3 Nemesis, like, the original game, you could get lost in, like, the first fucking area because there's a bunch of areas where you just go round and round the merry-go-round if you don't know what you're doing, right? But also, more importantly, right, well, first, I guess the real thing is, like, Nemesis is actually hard in the original, right? Like, if you fight Nemesis right outside the police station, which you have to do if you want to actually, like, get all of his drops, because that's the first drop location. If you don't, you will actually not be able to get all of his drops, including, you know, the infinite ammo thing, but also, like, you know, a lot of other things, right? So you kind of have to fight him, right? There, like, right then and right there. So he's hard, though, right? But if you beat him there, and then you beat him, like, in the second area of the police station, you get the Eagle, which is an amazing handgun that shoots very fast, does a lot of critical hit rate. So, like, when you hit with the handgun, it does a lot more damage, right? On average, right? Like, the regular bullets do. I think, like, they do slightly less normally, but they fire a lot faster, and they have that crit. So a magazine from the Eagle does more damage, but a single shot doesn't, right? But more importantly, like, you know, you do more DPS, like, way more, right? So, like, it's just a much better version of the handgun. And the handgun is actually pretty good. Like, people, like, dog on, like, the guns for being weak or strong. Like, really, the handgun's not weak. It's basically 2 shotguns blast worth of damage. So, like, if it takes 8 handgun, I mean, it takes 8 handgun rounds to do 2 shells worth of damage. So it's about a quarter of the shotgun, right? But you get way more than 4 times the ammo, right? So from, like, a survivor's, like, thing, right? You know, it's more damage than the shotgun does, right? Now, the other thing, of course, is that shotguns technically, right, you know, do one-shots to regular zombies. So you aim at the head, they one-shot kill. So, like, in old school Resident Evil, it's actually more beneficial to use the handgun for bosses, in the magnums and stuff, all that for bosses. And then the shotgun is exclusively for zombies, because it will one-shot them, right? And, like, that's really, like, the strat I usually go with, right? Because, like, why would I not do it like that, right? Because, like, regular zombies die in one shot, you know, while bosses like, take a lot of shots, and I have enough handgun ammo to take out the bosses, but I don't necessarily have enough shotgun ammo to do it. So, you know, that's what I do. Anyway,
as much as you're angry right now, of course I ran.
Just take some blame, goddammit.
Why is this guy crashing the out so hard for just being dog the game? I'm not trying to be rude. That's just sad.
All of the accounts that are messaging me are getting reported, and I can't wait for all of them to get banned.
Dude, apparently he's getting swatted, spam death threats in-game, out-of-game. People are bringing up his past. This is all because he did not say sorry.
Yeah, like, that's just the thing. Like, it's a fucking video game at the end of the day. Who the fuck cares that he didn't say sorry? It's a fucking video game, right? No one really cares. All this is drama farming anyway, but, like, the swatting is like, goddamn, dude, you guys are fucking taking that too far, right? That's what Tyler One's talking about. Because, like, yeah, like, it's just a fucking a drama farm, and then it gets to that. Everyone's like, dog, like, this is why, like, Adam Sessler, like, literally will, like, harass everyone in the gaming community. Like, he's like, dog, I'll listen to your content, you suck balls. But no, I'm not. I know a lot of the gamers are happy about that. No, fuck you guys specifically. I know how you guys act. Fuck you. Go get a job and fucking die, you ungrateful piece of shit. Like, that's what I love about Adam Sessler, like, now. Like, he's on, like, the whole, like, fucking Like, I hate everyone I built because they're fucking awful, right? Because they, like, a lot of them are. Like, most gamers obviously aren't. Like, it's a bad, like, rap. But, like, the Smash JT crew, like, yeah, no, every single member who, like, subscribes to that guy is a fucking loser, reject piece of shit. And same with Grums and Endymion, right? Like, none of those people are even gamers, really. Like, they might play video games, but they don't actually enjoy video games, if you know what I mean. Like, there are gamers, right, on the anti-woke, obviously. Asmongold, Eric July, you know, Stuttering Craig, Blabbering Creator, Melee James, etc. Most of the side scrollers crowd outside of those guys, yeah, they're actual gamers. But, like, these guys aren't gamers, they're shit stirrers, right? And you know that because they'll pull shit off like this, too. In fact, I'd be surprised if they weren't talking about it and trying to take sides on shit, though. It's like, you know, just an endless mollywop roller coaster of dumbass retardation, right? And that's what, like, I don't like about, like, Smash JT, right? Like, I recognize Az is playing a character and it's just a dumb, like, LARP. I recognize that, right? I still have fun making fun of that LARP, but I also know he's playing a character. So when I make fun of, quote, him, I actually make fun of the character he plays, not him, right? Same with, like, Yellow Flash 2, Eric July, etc., right? With Smash JT, though, I'm not making fun of the character or Grums, right? I'm not making fun of the character. I'm making fun of them, right? And the reason why is because that's how they are IRL, right? They don't play a character to ham it up. They don't know how to role play, right? So they don't play a character. They're just themselves. The problem is, unlike all the other guys, they're themselves is a shitty person, right? And, like, that's what, like, Adam Sessler was talking about, although he said, like, makes it out like everyone who plays video games is like that, and no. Although, like, it does seem, like, if you go on Twitter, it does seem that way because that's what's promoted, sadly. Like, actually playing and enjoying games is not promoted, but, like, all this drama shit is. So it does seem like everyone in gaming is actually what Adam Sessler describes. It's not, but the algorithm makes it seem that way, which is why I don't like Twitter now. Like, it's just promoting drama rather than actual, like, anything useful. Like, and outside of, like, California being on fire and shit, I didn't learn anything that I wouldn't have learned anywhere else. Like, I could have went on tech forums and stuff, everything, or art forums, etc., AI forums, etc., and learned way more about everything than I do on Twitter, right? About anything, right? Twitter, for me, is literally an addiction I need to curb, rather than an actual good thing anymore, right? It used to be there were good things on there sometimes, right? Now, there's nothing good there. It's all drama and shit stirring, which isn't good, right? People are like, but the left lost. The left just won because they left that shit. Now, unfortunately, they also lost because they went to Blue Sky and did the same thing there. Because ultimately winning is just avoiding all of it. Like, you log off and you improve your life and stop worrying about pointless shit. That's actually winning. So the left didn't win, but they did have a perceived victory of, hey, we're not hating every aspect of our life, only 95% of it. So they're better off than Twitter. But they're still, like, shitty, right? Because Blue Sky's still shit, but yeah.
Guys, it's me, Moist Critical, coming back.
But, like, those platforms are inherently shit. Is another thing to note, you know?
With another epic Chungus video talking about the Dream and Tommy in it drama.
Psych! We're not doing that today. Now, before I get into the video, I've noticed that my hair does look quite different. I recently got it cut at a barber's. I'm still trying to style it. That's the reason why, at the time of recording, it looks like quite a phallic object, or also a Reddit upvote. Look, I don't want to run.
Yeah. Like, someone said Draco Malfoy, which, you know, true. I do love Draco Malfoy, though. Malfoy's like an awesome villain in Harry Potter, at least in the movies. In the books, he's a little, like, less cool. I don't know, like the actors in movies do like help like boost the characters like perception, I think, right? And I feel like if Draco Malfoy was like actually just like exactly like he was, same with Hermione Granger, right? Like Harry Potter, you know, I think could have been pulled off by like about anyone. Although I mean, like as in like the character was already good. Same with like Ron Weasley. Like as in, if they followed the character better with Harry and Ron, it would have been better for them. Same with like Snape, but everyone else, right? Like in the books, like most of the characters are really not like cool, like they are in the movies, right? But like Harry and Ron are cool. Hagrid's dope, you know, when you see him, and then like Snape's pretty cool. Dumbledore, I mean, sometimes, you know, like sometimes it's just like you got to remember like the you know, the stories are based around a single character, whereas the movies kind of explore like the characters a bit more personally, in a cooler way, but like also like have less of their backstory. But like their backstory kind of stuff is like, and side story and all that is kind of like what makes me not like them in the books, right? Like Hermione, like early on is just like an annoying wench, right? But that annoying wenchness like makes it so when she's clearly a good friend later on, makes her seem like a actual cool character. Obviously, if she was an annoying wench the whole time, it wouldn't be good either. But, like, in the books, like, she's kind of just, like, not even a wench at the beginning. But also, like, not really, like, super, like, I don't know how to describe her in the book. I mean, she's ugly. There we go. She's also ugly. That's another thing. She's supposed to look fucking atrocious in the books. Does anyone know that? I mean, so is Harry, too, to be fair. He's supposed to look like an emaciated zombie. But, like, Harry, like, the way he's written, like, as he actually can look like an emaciated zombie and pull it off, you know? Hermione Granger, I don't think, like, with the character she is, there's not really anything interesting about the role she plays in the story. I'm literally just going on a tangent about Harry Potter books just to say if Hermione Granger wasn't hot, I probably wouldn't like it. like that's really like I went on like a 10-minute like stun lock, really just to say, hey, Hermione Granger is better in the movies because she's actually good looking, which is true, but. I went on like way too long for that
as well. But one guy on stream said that my hair looks like the 4th selection when you're creating your own me. I can never let this go. My man got the 4th male me haircut. What does that mean? Oh my god.
I mean, it's true.
Oh my god. So after milking the well dry, talking about
it is
Minecraft
true
drama,
though. You gotta
I'm gonna
that.
Move over to the other hemisphere of the internet.
Well, you see, that's like actual like cool like internet drama where it's like just jokes about like someone's haircut and stuff.
World of Warcraft.
This is like people trying to endanger someone's livelihood because they did something in a game that other people who were playing the game didn't like. I'm gonna be honest, if you're not playing the game with them, fuck off, right? I'm fine with the guild banning whatever, right? That's whatever, right? That's a action within the group of friends and an action within the server community and an action within the game, which all are like in the same community, right? But like people who aren't even in the community are like talking about this like it's legit drama. It's a thing that happened between a group of friends in a server that they own and run for the purpose of playing a video game together and having fun. Like here's ultimately what the drama was. Like ultimately, right? PirateSoftware was not having fun, so he like at the time he wanted to run. He chose to run. His friends had less fun because he ran instead of tried to fight it out for glory till he died, which ultimately he would have too. Let's face it. They were in a position where no matter what happened, they weren't saving it. Like, that's why they had the run call in the first fucking place, you know? You don't make those calls unless you think, yeah, it's all over, right? I don't know why they decided I might not actually be ever... Like, I think, like, what it was is they wanted to have, like, a Blaze of Glory thing, and then they didn't actually inform PirateSoftware that's what was going on, and so, like, you know, he bailed, right? Because, like, that's all I can think about. Like, you know, they all played kind of horribly. From what I'm gathering, I mean, I don't really know that much, but like, you know, like it seemed like they weren't playing optimally from what I'm seeing from like people who actually know how to play the game. Now, obviously, neither did PirateSoftware for fighting, but they were supposed to run. So PirateSoftware technically, you know, he ran the best, right? He tried to CC, it didn't really work, but he tried to CC. With what he had, and then continued to run while everyone else decided to change the orders. Which, when you have a run call, you really should never do that. But yeah.
The beloved 30-year-old franchise that people love wasting.
Now, my thing is, I play games all the time, too, where, like, I'm bad at them, too. Like, I play Marvel Rap. I suck at that game, right? I suck ass, right? I literally, like, I'll play as Wolverine, right? And people will be like, why are you continuing to bum rush the objective? Now, I bum rush the objective because literally the entire team sucks and no one is even trying to guard the objective. So literally I'm just trying to do something worthwhile while they're like stuck on like, we gotta like take out the tank. We gotta take out the tank. And the tank's all the way up here, right? 20 meters away. And so I got a bum rush move, so I'm like, fuck the tank, I'm doing something. I'm slowing it down by like 1 pixel per minute, right? You know, it's not doing much. And dying immediately, but like, they're just focused on the tank, who's not even doing that much damage, right? I'm like, dog, like, get in there, right? We can all get in there. Like, you know, you can still fight the tank on the way, but... fucking get in there, my guys. Like, the tank isn't pushing you back. You guys just don't fucking care, right? Like, because by the time they kill the tank, you know, the points moved up to then, right? Like, you know, that's my thing, right? I'm just trying to slow it down. Like, it probably, like, the tank would still be alive if I didn't slow it down just a little bit. You know, that's another thing. Like, because when you have a player on there, it slows it down. It only stops it though if you have more players than they do on the thing, you know, and then it starts to move back very slowly if you have killed all their players and have a bunch of players on, right? Like that's the thing. Like we're guarding, they're pushing, and no one is actually trying to prevent the push, right? So I'm like, dog, we need to not give them 1 more inch. I'm like doing Stalin tactics, and they're like, nah, we need to give them every inch they can. And then like, dog, like that's just how you lose. Like, you know, but it is, right? But like I'm not helping. We're losing, gonna lose anyway. And they're, you know, being a group of PirateSoftwares. I'm being like the other guys, right? Now, regardless, neither of those players are doing a good job. Because if we were doing a good job, we would be preventing the push. And not stuck on a fucking tank that isn't even doing damage, just trying to kill it before, before like trying to stop it, but then they all push past us and then all killed you. Because instead of trying to take out the fucking like Storm or someone who actually does a lot of damage, you took out the fucking, like, tank that is not even being healed, right? And it still takes that long to take him out for them. Honestly, I feel like at that point, like, y'all should have just not focused on the tank. Because I don't even think these guys could know how to do damage, right? Like the tank shouldn't have taken that long either. But, like, it took him, like, 5 minutes to take out the tank. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? It's a fucking group. Get the fucking, like attack him on the way. He doesn't do that much damage unless, like, you are stationary anyway. Because, like, his attacks, like, the way they work, right? You kind of, it's very easy to dodge, but like, you know, you tend to dodge right into like a DPS when you dodge him, right? So it doesn't really like work out that well in like actual combat scenarios, which it would have been if they actually just ignored the tank, to be fair. But they'd also be able to take out the storm and stuff, and then the tank would have to fall back, right? Because instead of being 20 fucking meters away, he'd be guarding the point, which you can't be doing from 20 meters away. So, like, yeah, he's just like, you know, but it's like whatever. It's a game, right? We don't play ranked anyway. We just so like we expect like bad. Me and my girlfriend expect bad players, but that's a thing, right?
Their money on, because keep in mind, Warcraft 1 released back in 1994.
So that's why we don't play ranked, because you know, like they play horrendously. So we're like, dog, I'm just having fun now.
For most of you,
like that's another thing. Like launching myself at 1,000,000 miles an hour with Wolverine, which is something you can do. Doesn't really do anything reductive if you launch yourself at the objective with 4 players, while there's 2 players in other places, right? But what it does do is have fun, because you do like a massive fucking leap, and that's fun as fuck to watch.
In this video, that's probably when your grandfather was born. And of
that's
course,
the other thing. I play games for fun. I don't play them to team comp and be sweaty. I play them for fun, right? So, you know, I can talk about like mistakes everyone was making, but at the end of the day, I don't actually care, right? I'm playing a Wolverine to have fun and do cool leaps and slash and stuff, you know. I'm not playing. I'm not playing to win. I'm playing to be like do cool shit, you know.
World of Warcraft,
I'm playing a video game, right? You know, at the end of the day, I'm having fun.
Let that sink in. How decrepit and old you're slowly becoming. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this World of Warcraft drama, because it basically feels like the Leroy Jenkins bit. Although this, surprisingly, wasn't scripted. I'm not even joking. I only found out recently that
Oh, yeah. Leroy Jenkins thing actually was acted out.
That entire iconic legendary clip was actually entirely scripted. So this drama revolves around the streamer.
And yet, fun enough, it actually did promote the fuck out of them, too. Like, that's the thing. For all we know, this is also a staged promotional event. Not necessarily staged, but, like, it's meant for... It's not staged, it's not scripted, but it is definitely like used to promote all of the channels involved.
Software. Now that name needs no introduction. You have definitely
let's face it, regardless, this is still just only gonna focus on making every channel involved bigger.
Content from his overly.
That's all the consequences that'll happen. Everyone's like, oh, PirateSoftware is a lolcow or whatever. Like, no one fucking cares. Like, here's the thing, right? People will say all kinds of shit. Everyone who cares about lolcows is a lolcow, right? Like, Quartering hates lolcows. He's a massive lolcow, right? You know, you have Smash JT, like, hates lolcows. He's a massive lolcow. Mark Kern, he's a lolcow. Alyssa Mercante, she's a lolcow. Adam Sessler, he's a lolcow, right? Being bothered by lolcows just means you are a lolcow yourself. That's like how they're made, right? You care about Chris Chan for way too much, so you become him, right? So instead of being bothered by Chris Chan's antics and like recording every wrinkle of his asshole like Kiwi Farms does, what you do is you ignore that and just admit that like you were there just to laugh. And then have fun, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, I go on Kiwi Farms to see things to laugh at and people who, like, might be, like, pedophiles or, like, things like that. But otherwise, I don't use it because it's worthless otherwise, right? Like, outside of who might be, like, actually a really insanely bad or violent person in my community, that's one reason. And the other reason is, you know, to laugh at Mark Kern or Quartering or Darkside Phil or something, right? Like, I laugh at lolcows, but most of the people on the site who use it are lolcows themselves. In fact, I'd say 100% of them. If you actually give a shit about lolcows more than enough to document all their lolcalory, you are a lolcow. That's just how I'm going with it. You know, if you're not just making fun of them, you are a lolcow.
Streams that go on for like 12 hours at a time. I will never understand how people have the stamina to stream.
Like a good way to say it, right? Like, JSON effects, right, is a massive piece of shit in the furry community, right? And in Kiwi Farms, like, they have it, like, they're they're literally asking, like, how is he still, like, continuing, right? Because now he's literally, like, farmed the drama they have on him and used it to make money. He's like, these people have me on as a lolcow, so I can either take it like a champ and then fail, or I can take it like a winner, right, and use it to my advantage. So he does. He doesn't give a shit, right? And once you stop giving a shit, everything becomes impossible to kill a lolcow, right? Once you acknowledge that you are going to be seen as a massive piece of shit by everyone, no matter what, you just won, right? Because you accepted that you are a lolcow and that everyone involved is a bigger lolcow than you. And it's like if Christian just accepted that he's gonna be a lolcow and that nothing he can do will ever please those people because they're degenerate pieces of shit, they would immediately win. Right? Like that's just the thing, right? Literally the only reason Christian is losing is because they don't want to accept that they are a lolcow, but ultimately once you do, you literally become invincible. Like that's what Darkside Phil did. No one can take him down. Everyone's like, you're a piece of shit, you're an asshole. Everyone, I hate you. All you do is blah, 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 blah. He doesn't fucking care. He uses that to his advantage. To always have relevancy. You can't beat him. You can only observe him and make fun of him without actually like thinking you're going to do anything. Because you won't. You can't. When someone is like that, you won't ever.
That long, I can stream for about 8 hours and then I want to take about a week off. But you've probably seen PirateSoftware from his YouTube shorts, which have blown up, where usually he will open MS Paint and yap about something and it goes incredibly viral. But you might also know the fact as well that he's an ex-Blizzard employee and actually started his own game studio. What I knew him from personally is that his dad was in a South Park bit once. And that's it.
No, my dad did inspire the world from South Park.
Also, let me just look at Heartbound because I gotta. Let's see, what are the... Because that's the thing, like, Steam, Steam is better, right, for reviews, obviously. Ooh, Amber Isla. A friend of mine recommended that, so I gotta check that out. It's a furry, Animal Crossing kind of spin-off game. I say furry Animal Crossing. Yeah, that's a thing, right? I mean, isn't that just Animal Crossing, right? Like, it's more like designs that furries like to make, obviously. So it's like, you know, the more like cutesy style furries you see, like artists like Silver Fox and stuff use, right? I can like kind of show that later. It's a very adorable looking. Like it looks very adorable. Basically, they're all dinosaurs too. It's clearly like Animal Crossing might have like one furry on the team, whereas like this is clearly everyone who made it is a furry, right? Like that's what I really mean. Like they're like a furry Animal Crossing, as in it's made by furries for furries. You can clearly tell by looking at it what the people who made it are into, kind of thing, right? But anyway, Heartbound. Let's look at this. So it's $10, early access. We have 66 reviews are, and 30% of them are negative recently. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so like it's not he's spending more time streaming, less time developing the game, so people are kind of like, I kind of wish you would develop it more. All right, so this is like, wow, a review bomb that's actually not a review bomb. It's actually just a bunch of people having their own negative opinions. This is probably like the first time I've ever seen that happen, right? Normally when you see like a shitload of negative reviews in a short time, it's a bunch of people like just like copy pasta in the same fucking things. But no, like literally everything here seems to be actual, like an opinion that someone had and not someone got from a YouTuber. Because like you know, that's like why I don't like Metacritic, because Metacritic, it's basically just opinions by YouTubers. Right, so everyone's like, the Metacritic score is down. The Metacritic score on the users is not the same as the critics. I'm like, dog, the Metacritic score is the shittiest review site ever because you can use it without ever interacting with the game itself. So people bought it all the time. Steam is better because you actually have to have purchased the thing to review it, you know? You have to play the game. I can look at your playtime too to see if your opinion is relevant, right? Like, so, like this guy, like, you know, has a recent negative review, right? He has 4 hours in the game, which, you know, isn't a lot, but it's not nothing, right? You know, some positive reviews, 2 hours, 6 hours, etc. A lot of the negative reviews, so whether a lot of text or not, 6 hours, okay, abandoned by dev, that's a very short review, but almost 7 hours of playtime. 11 hours from this one saying Fame and Power, right? So these are people who actually play the game for a decent amount of time to know what the game is like and still don't like how things are going on and have a negative opinion of it. That is actual negative review. Like, that's my thing, right? Like, when you look at like review bombs on Steam versus like actual just a lot of people change their mind, what you'll notice is that the playtime of a review bomb is very short, if at all, right? And that's like the thing, right? Like if the people are just having an opinion because someone else told them to, they won't have a lot of playtime, right? So it does suck that Heartbound seems to have not developed like much. Like that does genuinely suck, but
Wow guy from South Park.
And also,
yeah, like Abandonware sucks. I agree with them. He should finish it and not abandon it. I will say
So
that.
he's became the director of strategy at Ludwig's off-brand games. I did actually briefly talk about Pirate Software when I talked about Ludwig's company coming under some drama, because he actually put out a statement saying that he was willing to basically lower his own wage to make sure that everyone was paid equally. Now, one of the most viral clips recently of Pirate Software is him basically talking down to any drama tubers that, you know, react to the situation that he's surrounded himself in right now.
And for all the content creators that were out there trying to cannibalize me to boost their numbers for a little while, that may work for now, but in the future, no one's going to want to do anything with you other than other people that also want to cannibalize you. And I feel bad for you. So have your...
Well, no, he is absolutely right. Like, this is why, like, quartering is so, like, retarded. The only people who hang out with the quartering are the same group of people who hate everyone else because they're actual good content creators, right? Like, if you notice, every single quartering drama is like, this big YouTuber attacked me or whatever, right? Whenever he cry bullies, right? Because quartering is what's known as a cry bully. He's a person who bullies someone bigger than him and then cries when he can't take it, as in like a tactic for sympathy. That's every quartering video ever, just so you know. Like, his entire channel is just cry bullying, right? Every single thing he engaged first. He is a shitster, as they say, a cry bully, as they say. Mark Kern is another example of that. Like, every drama that Mark Kern has ever had was started by Mark Kern, not someone else. And that's like a thing that like people start to notice slowly because he's a scam artist, right? Now, Pirate Software, at least like I can play the game. Like I probably would never buy it, but I can play the demo right now, right? and see if I enjoy anything about it. I don't know if I would. It looks kind of like mid, I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't really look that great of a game, but hey, if people enjoy it, I don't really care, but it doesn't look good to me, right?
Have fun.
That, of course, inevitably includes a clip of XQC saying nothing and basically just laughing.
I don't know what that means, chat.
But that's the thing, right? Like, if people are unhappy with the game and the way, like, it's been developed, that's fair, right? That's actually, like, the first time I've seen fair criticism of a game, though. That's the thing, too, right? That is, like, remarkably, like, when someone, like, you hear, like, have, like, a bunch of people negatively review a game, right? Usually, like, even with Concord, it was people gave them that opinion. Now, that opinion was correct. Concord did suck. But that was people giving them that opinion rather than them having it. Which is still bad. Like, just, you know, like, the thing is, most bad games don't have that high of a negative review score because people aren't passionate enough to actually buy and review a bad game, usually. Because it costs money to do that, right? Like, you're not going to see anywhere near as much, like, we'll give you, like, an actual piece of dog shit, because like, you'll be like, whoa, right? I've got to figure out what this one was called. It's an actual, like, piece of absolute dog shit, like, from, like, mid 2000s. Just trying to think. You know what? I can do this one. Gotham Knights. Here we go. Right. Gotham Knights is also pretty mid. 70%. Right. It still has 70%. Right. This is pretty shitty though. Like, this is honestly, I think, like, this is worse than Suicide Squad. But let's see. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Right. Like, okay, 55, right, and 63. Still pretty bad, but, like Dustborn, like, I'll just show you, like, what I mean by, like, an absolute, like, a tragic piece of shit. 70% on Dustborn, right? So, and most people who bought this, bought it to stream it, right? Like, literally, no one really likes it for, like, the game itself. They like it for how, like, dumb of a stereotype it is and shit. And yeah, like, pretty much everyone played it to completion and hates it. Which is funny because they're reviewing it positively. But, like, you know, Steam has this weird thing. Like, you can tell a review's negative or positive by, like, what they say. And, like, their hours and stuff. But, like, yeah. Yeah, like, but, like, Dustborn has 70% positive reviews. So it's still mostly positive somehow, right? So, like, that's the thing. Like, a lot more people are voting positive on absolute piece of dog shit than mid, right? And that's the thing you'll notice. Mid tends to be, like, the worst reviewed games. Shit actually tends to be reviewed kind of positively. Like, that is absolutely dog shit. Let's, like, look at another one though. I gotta remember what I'll do. Terra, maybe. Can find it. Okay, I can't even find Terrorizing anymore. Okay, shit. That game was so bad. Everyone's like, hyping it up. That game sucked, guys. Just deal with it. It got taken down because it wasn't good, right? It was fun memories. Like, I played it. I had fun memories. But legitimately, Terra, the fucking dog shit game. As, like, an actual game. I'm trying to figure out what the... Alright, let me open up my other browser. Let's see. Alright. Something on PC from Okay. I'm gonna guess Rogue Warrior, right? Let's look at Rogue Warrior, right? Let's look at Rogue Warrior. Absolute piece of dog shit, right? Mixed, right? Not negative, mixed. 68%. This is an absolute, like, this game sucks dick. Right? This game sucks absolute ass. And people are rating it positively a lot because of, like, hey, it's a shitty game, but, like, nothing about it is positive, right? That's the thing. We're not even getting bad games anymore. We're getting a shitstorm of mid, usually. And I feel like that's the problem. Like, no one even knows what bad is anymore, right? We're going like mid is the worst thing ever, not actual bad, right? Because we haven't had a fantastic turd in a while. Like, Dustborn is like the closest we have, and that's not really a real turd either.
Now, the first instance I saw about this drama is he was playing World of Warcraft or something. And then
like, it's not a good. I feel like mid is hated more than boring now. Bad now, to be fair, because mid is boring. Bad is like bad can be fun. Mid is never fun, right? So that's probably part of it too.
Okay.
I always say like mid is kind of actually worse than bad because at least bad is somewhat understandable.
Insane.
That's all I saw about it, and I saw everyone talking about it, but I thought to myself, okay, there's maybe a bit more nuance to it than that. I mean, yeah, he did definitely have some kind of baby rage, but I'm sure there's another angle to this as well. And when I saw that clip of him saying, if you talk about this, if you cover it, you're basically just gonna involve yourself with people that self-cannibalize, I then thought to myself, oh my god, I don't want to annoy the guy that I'll probably never meet in my entire life. So I reached out to him and basically said, okay, am I good to talk about this? Am I good to cover it? And he quickly replied to me saying, yep, that's totally fine. And he also kind of alluded that the situation is a lot worse behind the scenes than what people are actually seeing online. So again, what happened? What made this World of Warcraft situation truly insane? I can't take that word seriously anymore. I cannot wait for YouTube to update their algorithm where it just boots titles like that out of the algo, because at the minute, it's the only way to actually get a banger video talking about stuff like this. I also want to give a quick shout out to Dolan Darkest, who's doing the complete opposite. His recent videos about Minecraft drama, the dream situation is not very insane, and the dream situation is not crazy at all.
The algorithm is completely dog shit. Yeah, remember the algorithm used to be like promote good videos. Now it promotes drama.
It actually seems to be working.
Like post adpocalypse, the video, like it used to be like easier to do like actual good content. But post adpocalypse, like it's all bad shit. Like, pre adpoc, right? You had PewDiePie, you had Markiplier, you had, you still have Moist Critical on both sides, but you had Moist Critical back then. It was a little more edgy, to be fair, too. You get the idea. Like, iDubbbz was pretty cool back then. Yeah, Chris Raygun was, like, the anti-woke side. Now he's, like, considered the woke guy. Yeah, the guy who actually has talent is the problem, right? The guy who actually made people laugh at the anti-woke stuff. I mean, at the woke stuff, and not like just made people mad at a video game, but also made like actual points about like real life politics and why the behavior was bad. And, it's not just the ideology, but like the behavior. And, oh, right. People don't like Chris Raygun because he shows it in the mirror, right? Like he uses his talents to show that anyone who is like this is bad. It's not like their political alliances, but actually their behaviors that were bad. And that's why people don't like him. Because when he recognizes patterns in behavior rather than tribes, he doesn't like it. And he points at it and he makes fun of it. But he makes fun of people for behaviors rather than tribe. So he is lauded by both sides, which is funny because yes, he is, but it also kind of proves the point that everyone who hates him is a retard. which is a point Total Biscuit also made, you know?
King. This could
Now,
be
not everyone who is hated by both sides is actually a genius. But he is. Like, you know, like if you hate Chris Reagan, I'm just be honest, I have less of opinion. My opinion's instantly lower of who you are.
Meta.
Same with like Shoe on Head. Like, if you hate those like actual like fun drama creators, my opinion drops of you. It doesn't increase, it lowers. Because you are now watching drama not for fun or amusement, but because you think that they are actually being honest. And anyone who disrespects God enough to lower their IQ score enough by rejecting the brain cells he is giving you, anyone who is willing to do that is subhuman and does not deserve any sympathy, right? Because you can't actually think drama YouTubers give a fuck about the drama and like be a good person or a smart person or anything like that. So yeah, no, none of the drama character creators ever actually care. Get that thought pattern, get that pattern slot through with your pattern seeking skull. Okay.
The
pattern seeking brain needs to do with some pattern seeking. You know?
I copy him and try that. So here's a quick rundown of what happened. This is essentially ground zero. Streamer Guild have streamers playing together while streaming World of Warcraft. Streamer group pulls too many enemies at once. Streamer's characters die. Streamer Alt F4's out of call. Internet says streamer should have taken responsibility and apologized. Streamer makes post about it. Internet does not accept. Drama gets worse. Let end. Now, a lot of this drama is surrounding the 20th anniversary of World of Warcraft servers. Specifically, the infamous World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore server. Hardcore is essentially when you die in the game, your character is locked. What's a good comparison here? Fortnite, but no reboot card. Minecraft Hardcore mode. When you die, the save gets bricked. It shares the same name. So whether you were a lowly level 5 or a higher rank, like for example, level 60, if you die, no matter what, you are back to level 1. So depending on how many hours invested into the game, or a more reasonable question, how often you go outside as a World of Warcraft player, I'm guessing not a lot, this could essentially be life and death. But the bigger question remains, if you put so much time into that character and you basically had no life, how can you kill what was never alive in the first place? So
what's funny is that's a South Park joke. How can you kill that which has no life? Exactly. You can't. You didn't do anything wrong because they have no life. I don't know. Like, I'm not really going to bully World of Warcraft like fans anymore because like there's no... First off, I'm not a bully. I'll make fun of like this situation. But like in reality, like, you know, most players, it's just like, okay, look, the game is absolute dog shit. To anyone with a function in medulla oblongata, but yours doesn't function. So bullying you for that would be bullying the mentally ill, and I'm not going to do that. You know, that's not kosher.
Craft, we can't forget OnlyFangs. Now, me saying that word, I'm pretty sure that's going to trigger some deep learning algorithm thinking I'm saying the other website where Milady posts some bosom and the video will get demonetized. But OnlyFangs, not the other one, YouTube. Not the other one, not the website. OnlyFangs is a streamer exclusive guild, initially started by Soda Poppin', and that requires everyone in the guild to basically stream or record whilst playing their character, or else you will be punished. Did you like that, by the way, when I looked to the side? How my chin, like, did you like that? Look at that. Look at that side.
Lol.
Look at that side profile. Look at this. But this actually revolves around one specific dungeon run that PirateSoftware was part
Did the Andrew Tate chin? Holy shit.
of. Now, this run really...
That's a funny thing. Like, have you noticed how, like, a lot of, like, the people who, like, are, like, DEI Chin or Andrew Tate or anything like that, they always have, like, no chin of themselves. Like, is, like, Mark Kern or, like, Andrew Tate or Asmongold or any of them, are they secretly telling everyone that they're female? Because every single dude who has said that has had no jawline to speak of, right? Like, Asmongold, I know he's just joking, to be fair, but, like, the others, I think they take it seriously. And, like, my thing with that is, like, Are you coming out? Right? Like Mark Kern literally has no chin to speak of, right? So if having a chin is what separates men from women, and women who have chins are secretly men, then wouldn't that mean that men who don't have chins are secretly women? See, this is called logical consistency and using your own words against you. It is a tactic that I love to pull because it's the only way I can ever win a debate. Because I'm not good at making my own arguments, but I am very good at putting my enemies in their own spotlight, you know? I am very good at that. That is the only way I can ever win a debate. To be fair, my arguments for my own positions are dog shit. But using your words against you is my favorite debate tactic because it lets me win. Like, just be like, fully honest. I only like it because I can win with that. It's my cheat code. Like, I'm showing you the mirror, right?
If you've seen posts on Reddit and on Twitter and on TikTok,
It's the only way I can win a debate. Use your own words and positions against you.
did not go as planned, and everyone is basically up in arms. Who's in the right? Who's in the wrong? And now it's reached the point where death threats are being involved. Death threats that sound like they came from the most pristine.
Well, occasionally I can predict a debate, like, and how it will go beforehand, like that Imani Khalif debate. But that's after I've already had and won that debate several times. So, like, obviously, yeah, if I've already had that conversation, I know how that conversation will go. And so I do that, you know?
Modern Warfare 2 10th Prestige lobbies.
We're gonna you straight up, bro.
As you may know, I consider myself a bit of a gamer. A god gamer, if you will. If there's a game with dog shit graphics and the plot twist is it took place in the entirety of the main character's head, I'm there. So what I want to try and do here is break down exactly what happened that led us here, despite never touching World of Warcraft in my entire life. You might call me a grifter. Can we go to the next part of the video? Everything.
Oh, shit. Damn. Like, that, when I laugh, it's genuine, just so you know, by the way.
Starts in a dungeon known as Dire Maul. But basically, Dire Maul is one of the...
Like, that's the thing. I don't, like, try not to laugh challenges where I'm just laughing at something that's mildly amusing, but I'm hamming up the... Like, no, when I laugh like that, that was a genuine, I laugh like that. I found that impossible to, like, make less, like, loud, right? Like, that's the thing. If anything, I ham down, not ham up, right? So, like, that's the thing, right? If someone makes me laugh like that, I found it genuinely funny. Now, you might not have, right? Like, because that's how humor works, right? Not everyone finds the same pickle taste the same, right? But I do like that joke. So when I laugh like that, it means that I genuinely found it hilarious.
Instances of World of Warcraft Classic. It's also held up as one of the hardest instances of the old era, alongside this one, and this one. I'm not saying the names. I'm not. Metro's booming. I'm not saying it. We're then following a group comprised of the following: PirateSoftware as a mage, Ozzy Falls as a warrior, Yamatas Death as a rogue, Snuppy as a druid, and Sarah as a priest. Everything looked seemingly well, especially because of the fact that they bailed from a close call at the same instance a few minutes prior.
He made it out.
That was sketch as dude, but good
What
work.
the
No
f happens?
died.
Thankfully, in that instance, nobody died. It's gonna get worse, trust me. There was no beef, they laughed it off and decided to basically try again. The group starts clearing the mobs leading to the first boss. However, things get pretty pear-shaped leading up to the first boss because before that, they managed to pull a huge group of mobs.
Crazy. I've seen
We
this.
got two, so just focus this.
But wait, there's more. Not only the huge group of mobs are now descending upon them, the boss himself, Guard Fengus, also decides to chip into the fight.
Boss is coming too, watch out.
which heavily turns the odds against the group. At this point, both the rogue and the warrior call for a bail,
Run,
Just run. Get already done.
meaning basically the group should retreat back to the entrance to try and protect their characters, because again, remember, this is hardcore. Once you die, it is permanent. So at some point, the rogue cancels the retreat and basically asks the entire group to try and fight back.
This is savage, but come
Innovate
on,
you.
man.
Just kill the master.
Innovate.
Unfortunately, during the entire confusion, the group ends up pulling another horde of mobs by accident,
Just kill the mastiffs. One shot. Okay, we pulled another pack. Run now.
overwhelming them and unfortunately leading to the death of Sarah's and Snuppy's characters consecutively.
I don't think...
So Hank 1, World of Warcraft players 0, I guess. So this is where things get a little bit complicated, because where did it all go wrong? To the common normie eye, it might look like a common gaming L plus unlucky plus ratio. The same kind of people that believe that if you use an Estus flask once in Dark Souls, you never actually beat the game, which is true, by the way. I'd also like to imagine those... are the same people that use hacks in 6 Siege to dome every single player at the beginning round, only to then say in the chat, common pre-fire. Now, here's the thing. When prompted to bail, Pirate started running away from the fight. He does cast a blizzard in an attempt to try to slow down the enemies, but it doesn't work to its full potential because you can't actually slow down bosses, and then blinks away from the fight. So as a result, that spell ended up draining his mana pool. Now, during the run for it, Yamato's Death starts asking where Pirate is going.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
This prompts Pirate to then defend his bail.
What are you talking about? Why am I walking? Look at my mana.
This is savage, but come
Innovate
on,
you.
man.
Do you see my mana? What am I supposed to do for you?
Mentioning that he was out of mana. Now, a lot of people are claiming that PirateSoftware had the skills, tools, and knowledge to be able to help his teammates retreat.
I've watched it. Like, Jay Beezy died the other day. Like, there were no sheeps
Okay,
going
so
out.
he's not terrible at the game. He heard a call to run, and he didn't change the orders because, like, when you see a situation where you're told to run, you're supposed to continue running. So
Blizzard's going out. Apparently, he didn't have the spec for Blizzard for slows, but, like, that's exactly why I run that spec. Because, like, when shit goes sideways, you save lives, man.
Even mentioning the fact that he actually had a mana gem and Archmage's robes to regenerate the missing mana. However, Soda Poppin says that it was a poor demonstration on Pirate's behalf.
Again, like, I'm not going to fault the guy for sucking. Did not use his toolkit, did not use his mage properly whatsoever.
Pirate also did a tweet later saying that he believes that everyone present in the group has a share of the fault. In terms of who is directly to blame, because
everyone does. Yeah, like, it's a team effort. It's not like PirateSoftware was the only one who, like, sucked there. Also, I don't think he sucked. I think he just heard the run call and was like, wait, why aren't y'all running again? Like, you know, that's
to do that. We love to pin the blame on one person. That's what everyone is debating here. I mean, to be fair, I didn't really care that much about World of Warcraft.
Like, the thing is, I don't think it was intentionally done for drama clicks, but it did, like, that's what they're using it for. It's sort of like 9/11. Like, 9/11, I don't think was an inside job, but they absolutely milked the shit out of that to push us back into war with the Middle East for 20 years, right? Like we didn't, like, I don't think it was intended to do that. Like, I don't think the government pulled it off themselves, right? But they absolutely did use the fact that we were attacked by like 3 guys in a plane. You know, they took a lot of lives with them, fair, but like there was like 3 or 4 guys, whatever. It wasn't a lot of people. They took over some planes and crashed them into some buildings, and a lot of people died. 7 buildings got destroyed. It's a lot of buildings, and 3,000 people died. It's a lot of people. You know, it was definitely not a good day for anyone. Yeah, the thing is, I understand 9/11 truther conspiracies, though, because here's the thing, right? The reason why I mock, like, flat earthers and not 9/11 truthers is this, right? The thought of, if, like, 9/11 was, in fact, an inside job, there's something that they said that's important, right? Because that's life-changing, right? If the earth is flat, you want to know how my life changes with that knowledge that it's not actually a sphere? Nothing about it changes. I'm like, oh, well, it's kind of boring, right? Like I kind of like the universe being bigger and we're just a little tiny and stuff. But hey, if you know, like, because that's my thing, right? Like flat earther, moon landing hoaxers and stuff. It's like your conspiracy is saying that we didn't do cool shit and that reality is far more boring and mundane than it already is, and reality isn't even that interesting to begin with to me, right? Like space and shit isn't that interesting to me normally anyway, right? Like it's just a bunch of black shit and some rocks and some fiery rocks. Like it's all space is, right? There might be some alien life somewhere. That's cool. We also know it's probably not landed here, but there's definitely someone there somewhere. I'm pretty sure. Very definitely a possibility. Like, it might not be there, but it's a pretty good possibility that there's some alien life somewhere. Just not going to interact with us most likely either, right? But, like, ancient aliens is an interesting conspiracy because, like, if aliens did, in fact, land here, it would be cool, right? And that's my thing. If your conspiracy theory just changes nothing about my life or how I view the world, I guess you could say flat earther does change the way I view the world, but not in an interesting way. Like, so now the earth is a two-dimensional character, not a thick dommy mommy. Well, you've made her boring. Thank you for telling me that the earth is flat and uninteresting. I shall do with this knowledge what I do with every useless fact. And continue to not care about it and mock you for making like that even be a debate in the first place, right? Yeah, that's my thing with like them. But like 9/11 truthers, it's like, okay, wow, our governments are terrorists who, like that's interesting to me. Like that says something where if that's actually true, it does impact my life and my thought process, right? So I will not say I agree with them, but I will say I would rather like someone, if they're going to get into conspiracy theories, I'd rather them get into cool shit like 9/11 truth or like Big Brother. I mean, that one might not even be. I don't even think that one's false, but like you get the idea, right? Like I'd rather people get into like actual conspiracies that are cool. Oh, another thing, conspiracies that are conspiracies, right? What's a conspiracy about a flat earth? Like, there's no crime there. Like, you're just saying that everyone who has a brain is wrong. That's not a crime. Like, that's not a conspiracy theory. That's what I call a dumbass theory. That's another thing. Conspiracy means a group conspires to commit a crime. So, like, your conspiracy theory, if it's not about a crime, really that's probably what it is. If it's not actually conspiracy theory, if there's no conspiracy part because it wouldn't be criminal to do it, that's really what it is. If it wouldn't actually be a crime to do, then I don't find it interesting because it's not really conspiracy theory. It's just a random hypothesis you thought in your head one day while high.
There wasn't enough like numbers on screen to keep me stimulated or colors. Wait, you can play Peggle inside of World of Warcraft? But yeah, back to this.
That's true. That's funny. I didn't know that either until I watched this video, because I watched these videos, like pre-watch them. And now people are going to be like, wait, you laughed at the same joke twice? Yeah, sometimes I do that.
Serious business.
I laughed a bit more last time, by the way. But I don't record, I don't laugh at that moment the last time. That's the other thing. Like, sometimes it's just, like, I have my headphones on, so it's funnier than when I don't, because I usually watch them on my phone and I get on my computer. And I'm, like, hearing, like, the full brunt of the joke on my desktop. Like, oh, I missed that one, right? So that's another thing to note. So while I did pre-watch the video, I did miss that joke. I did laugh at other parts, and I might laugh at them again, but that one caught me off guard, which is also why it was so big. Like you don't like laugh at jokes that heavily if they don't catch you off guard at least a little bit,
Internet is kind of split on the matter. Not really. Most people are blaming Pirate Software. So you've got one side calling him a roach and a rat, and they believe that he could have helped the group to leave the dungeon safely. On the other hand, there are people that believe that Pirate had no option but to bail.
I do like the fan art that they have of him just being like a roach with a sword. Even though he's a mage, which is kind of funny. Like, he's a mage, but you give him like a sword. So like he's not actually like you're calling Pirate the roach, but the guy who is the warrior was not Pirate. So why are you dressing him as if he's a warrior when he's a mage?
Considering, you know, the whole mana situation.
I feel like they need to actually understand like the point of political criticism and satire isn't just to make fun of someone. You actually have to actually like address the thing that they did. And so having them be a warrior is bad because it's not as close as you can get while still being a reductio ad absurdum of their argument. What you got to do is you've got to well, actually not abductio ad absurdum, sorry. It's ad ridiculum. It's a joke made to ridicule someone, right? So ad ridiculum, you have to do what like the thing that was actually done, but a little more humorously than it, but while taking it 100% seriously. That's satire, right? So satire has to be both subtle, but also like it has to be subtle, but it also has to have some like semblance of the real thing. So having him have a sword makes it so it's bad satire because you didn't have a sword in the game, guys. He has a staff and some robes. Like, you guys don't know what you're doing. I think they used AIs as probably part of it too, to be fair.
Which is truly crazy/insane. And also how badly overwhelmed the entire group was. Now again, people are torn here whether Pirate Software was in the right or he was in the wrong, whether he was just being, you know, lazy and trying to protect.
I think that like that third one is actually the option I'm in. He just like doesn't care that much about the game. He was told to run, so he ran. The others didn't want to run anymore, so they died. You know, they should have stuck with the original plan like him, or maybe he should have helped out more. It doesn't matter. Really, because it's a video game, right? You know, you could say that they both could have done more. They could have continued with running. He could have helped more with the fight once he realized they wanted to fight again. A lot of things could have went differently, but ultimately this is just some dumb shit in a video game. Now, him getting like banned from the server or whatever, yeah, they're a friend group that wants to be competitive and he wasn't being competitive there. Sure, absolutely. Whatever, like it doesn't matter there, you know what I mean?
Himself. However, we're not even getting into the nitty-gritty.
But like having it go outside of the server in their initial sphere is pretty shitty. That's just my view on that, you know?
Details here, and that is the post-game aftermath. Now, I'm sure you definitely want
like the same thing with like Ashes of Creation. Like they're like, oh, he bullies stream snipers. Like he'll see someone stream snipe him and then go after their entire guild. I'm like, yeah, this is a video game though. Like that happens all the time, right? Like if you are attacking someone on stream and then they fucking own your entire anus, that's on you, really. Also, they're not cry bullying because it's a fucking video game. You can't cry bully inside the video game. Like at all, it's not possible because the only way that can actually work is if someone takes it too seriously, which most people don't. So you have to have someone who is mentally ill to bully him that way. And when it comes to shit like stream sniping, yeah, that person might be mentally ill, but he has to, like, the way for it to work is you have to know that they're mentally ill beforehand. As in, bullies know who they seek them out, right? Like if a guy like punches me and then I whoop his ass and he happens to be a paraplegic, right? And I didn't even see him beforehand, right? I just like he punched me and I fucking whacked him out of his wheelchair, right? That's not me picking on the disabled. I had no idea he was disabled until I whacked him out of his wheelchair, right? Obviously, I'm making some absurd point of view because, like, obviously, like, you know, if someone's in a wheelchair, they'd probably not be able to punch in my face, and that would probably be a very good first a ticket that whoever's fighting me can't actually beat me when they punch my thigh or maybe like my butt cheek. Because we're talking about from behind, right? So they're punching my ass cheeks. You know, I could probably think that they're sexually harassing me, but I wouldn't actually. I wouldn't assume that that person like actually could beat me in a fight. So I'd probably just walk away. You know, I'd call him a creep, maybe. Right, but that's the thing, right? That's like what I'm getting at, right? Unless you know that they are disabled, you're not a bully, because that's the point of like bullying, right? Bullying requires you to know ahead of time, right, what's gonna happen. Effectively, like bullies go after people who they know that they have an advantage against of some form. Cry bullies, what a cry bully does is they do the same thing, right? Now, there's a size advantage of the person they're bullying, but they also know that because of the ridiculous bullshit they said, that they're going to get criticism. And they're going to pretend that because the person who is bigger than them criticized them, that they are being attacked. But in reality, they are not being attacked. They are being a bully. Now, Mark Kern has even gone even further because now he cry bullies smaller like accounts because like it's gotten to the point where no one likes him anymore because he won't fucking work on his game at all. Like at least there's a functional game with Heartbound. It doesn't look like a good functional game, but it looks like a functional one. Like there's a beginning, there's an end. Not necessarily an end, but like there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's gameplay involved and stuff. With Mark Kern, there isn't any of that. So like there is a mech that you can shoot in an old demo, and then nothing in the latest demo. You have camera movements and shit. It's been 8 years. We have camera movements, guys. You can look around in a circle. Such invigorating gameplay, guys, in going on 9 years.
My opinion here, someone that has 0 hours on World of Warcraft, apart from the time I'd play it when I was like 13 years old.
Yeah, to be fair, that's also a thing. Like, I played it at 12 to 13, and then I quit. I think that's also another thing. I just didn't find it fun, and I was 12, so I kind of found Zelda more fun. So when that happened, after I quit World of Warcraft and I played Wind Waker and Resident Evil 4, and I enjoyed them a lot more, so I continued to play them until I beat them. And then by the time I beat them, other good games came out. I got like Kingdom Hearts 2 as well. So it's like I didn't really necessarily hate World of Warcraft. It's just everything else that I already enjoyed was also already more fun. And my friends played like Killing Floor more anyway. So I just played Killing Floor because that's where my friends were playing.
Old, but just
Dungeon Defenders was also a banger from that time too. Yeah.
Gameplay perspective, I can see here that, run does mean run. But at the same time, mages do tend to actually have a lot of team-saving utilities. But then obviously you're arguing the entire mana situation. Was there enough time for him to regenerate his mana? I guess we'll never know. So right after the whole event, the group sits stationary at the dungeon entrance. This is like a post-game thing. They know that they lost, it sucks, and they're trying to evaluate what went wrong. Ozzy Falls briefly mentions that the fight could have been overturned before being interrupted by Yamato's death.
Mastiffs and 2 ogres. We could have polyed 1 ogre, killed 1, and then walked it out.
Yes, literally, just even an ice door would have been enough.
And he instantly throws the blame onto PirateSoftware.
You guys pulled that when I had...
You instantly ran out, bro. You instantly ran. You didn't even look
as
back.
much as...
Yeah, but they were told to run, so how's that bad?
You're angry right now. Of course I ran.
Claiming that he basically just ran, never looked back. Pirate then decided to basically, stand his ground. Not in the American way where you pull out a gun. No, we're not talking about that. I know...
I mean, yeah, but to be fair, like, those laws exist because, like, when someone tries to kill you, like, stand your ground means no duty to retreat, right? So that means if you don't, like, so what stand your ground means is if someone attacks you like physically with violence. You can just like if you use violence to end their life, you are while they're still there, you have no duty to retreat. So you can end their life as a defense tactic, right? It doesn't matter how violent the initial aggression was, right? This is why like I always find it weird that like everyone was attacking like George Zimmerman over using it. Like really, he shouldn't have needed that, right? Like I do say he might have actually started it, but like from what we see, because that's the thing, we have to actually go with what we have evidence of, right? So I think he might have. He seems like a guy who would have, but that's not what self-defense cases would do, right? Self-defense, self-defense means that it's you defended yourself, right? Which he obviously did at one point. And evidence means like we have some form of proof. We don't have proof that Trayvon attacked him first. Or that George Zimmerman attacked Trayvon first, right? What we have evidence for is that there was a point where there was during the scuffle, Trayvon tackled Zimmerman and was clearly winning. So, regardless of how it started, it ended with, and how it ended. The middle that we do know, Trayvon was winning the fight, and was clearly like the only aggressor at that point when anyone else actually like saw anything. And because of that, Zimmerman, if he did do it, he got away with it. And otherwise it was self-defense. Like that's the thing, right? You're innocent until proven guilty, and he was not proven guilty. So it doesn't matter if he was guilty or not. He was never proven as such in the court of law. So legally he is innocent. That's kind of how like the law works. You have to actually prove your case, and if you can't prove it, then they are innocent. That's how the law works, just so you know.
No, there's a lot of
I've said this many times with like people like accusing like Tyga and others of being pedophiles, and then like there's absolutely no evidence of it. Like there's just evidence of people taking things out of context and being whiny little bitches and stuff. But when it comes to the actual factual law, there's never any. And that's kind of a thing, right? Like it's kind of a pattern, right?
Here, but we're not talking about that. So Pirate basically claims that they were overpulled and he just didn't have any manner to control the situation, and blames the entire group for not really paying attention to the group's resources.
You weren't paying attention to party resources, you overpulled, and you weren't paying attention to where the boss was.
A claim that later on Soda Poppin really disagreed with. Yamato then starts ramping up the discussion as well, once again pressing more with his argument that Pirate Software is at fault.
Attention to where the boss was. That's not on me.
Ooh.
I saw about
just take some blame, god damn it. Just a bit.
I don't know if we could like,
it's okay.
Which then leads to the infamous clip that everyone's seen of Pirate leaving the voice a couple seconds later.
You could have at least said like the boss.
You just going to talk over me? Is that what we're doing now? We just got to talk over me? Is that all we're doing?
Giving you my points.
Okay. Insane.
So a few hours pass by and the sleeper agents at the livestream fail subreddit are kicked into action. I'm assuming first of all it's juicy drama, and secondly they ran out of clips to post about Forzen. So this subreddit quickly gets filled to the brim with much older clips of Pirate claiming that he values being able to overturn a bad situation instead of just, petrying and leaving a dungeon.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I think it takes away from the game, and I think it takes away from the experience, and it leads people to be like, oh, he could just petry out. This isn't that scary. And to be real with you, some of the best moments that I've had inside of dungeons are because, oh shit, we're all going to die if we don't execute this perfectly, and we hardened up at that moment, we kicked some ass, and we got to live. I've made it all the way to 60 now without dying because of that, because we didn't give up in that.
If you're wondering what Petri means to the non-World of Warcraft players, don't worry, I'm just as confused as you. Petri refers to using a flask of petrification, which gives the player complete invulnerability for around a minute. That would be just enough time to leave the group and then get, auto-kicked from the instance. And also, a lot of people bring up the point that the mage character is there to basically support and save people.
That was sad. As a mage player, that was sad to watch from two mages in a group. I'm gonna be honest.
It made me physically unwell. Yeah.
Yeah. It made me feel like I was a decent mage player, knowing that I probably would have done a lot more.
Like, there were no sheeps going out, there were no blizzards going out. Apparently, he didn't have the spec for blizzard for slows, but, like, that's exactly why I run that spec. Because, like, when shit goes sideways, you save lives, man.
So at this point, it was pretty clear that a lot of people really weren't happy with the way Pirate Software dealt with the situation. And most of them already made up their mind and who they'd basically be fending for. Now, somehow, this fumble in a video game, it just kept snowballing. Pirate then decided to make a public statement on Twitter. Now, usually, most things that Pirate puts out are incredibly well received. This one wasn't. But on the one hand,
what I find funny is that actual controversial takes by Pirate Software, no one actually cares. Some dumb shit in a video game that really has no bearing outside of the immediate player base and also the guild. I don't honestly see why. Like, the game, I could honestly see this drama making sense like 5-10 years ago when the game was actually good or considered good or whatever. I don't even know how this, like, a lot of these are probably like just a bunch of morbidly obese retards trying to get like 2 subs on their channel, you know?
Got some people siding with him, saying he didn't do anything wrong, like good soldiers follow orders.
Good soldiers follow orders.
But then a lot of people seem to just completely disregard the statement, saying that he's pretty much abstaining himself from any kind of responsibility. And he keeps tripling, quadrupling, quintupling down. And a lot of people are asking for him to just, straight up apologize. And then on top of that as well, some people were also claiming that Pirate was bullying another streamer called Lakari. That's mostly because of this clip.
Reminded me, sorry, I don't play the game, so I forgot. If you remind me, I can help you out real quick.
Yeah, it's too bad I'm the only mage in the party. You're right, Jen. If only someone else would cast Arcana. If only.
However, Pirate pretty much disputes that, saying that the clip is out of context, and it's actually in relation to a joke they had to Lakari ninja looting. However, people said that his tweet explanation was pretty off, and they did that by showcasing a clip of Pirate explaining the dagger drama.
What's the dagger drama? I'm level 34 and have the offhand to go with the dagger, and he's level 32. The dagger requires level 34 to wear it, and he rolled neat on it. And then
But it's not actual,
wanted to sell it to me for 5 gold. I accepted 5 gold, and then he said no, and then tried it again after he realized that it would be a really good deal for him, and I rescinded it. And I was like, nope.
And then Lakari claims that he wasn't having it, which is on this clip here.
Because he has like this high and mighty attitude, like he's better than you when he's not. You remember he's like talking down to me in that dungeon in SM? You remember that? Why do you play mage when you don't like support the team and make water and buff people? Bitch, I'm new. I fucking didn't realize the buff ran out, pussy.
To add even more drama to the fire, Asmongold gets involved. That's right. The guy that will play a YouTube video in its entirety occasionally raises eyebrows and says the word sure a lot, like the person in the video is in the room with him.
Yeah.
Yep. I love Asmongold, but yeah, to be fair, a lot of his reaction videos are just that.
Yep. So Pirate ended up inviting Asmongold for an interview. This was regarding Ashes of Creation.
This is the thing. I love how he says that Asmongold just didn't even do anything.
But Twitter seemed to
them.
absolutely despise this event, mostly due to Asmongold's controversial background. I mean, personally, I wouldn't really be interviewing someone who wipes bloodied gums on his walls, but that's just me.
Why is there blood? Well, I used to have problems with my teeth, right? And so what I have to do is my teeth would bleed at night, and I wouldn't be able to just swallow the blood naturally. So it would just accumulate and dry in my mouth. So whenever I'd wake up, I'd take my finger and I'd just dig it out of my gums, and I'd just smear it on the wall.
Pirate then posts another tweet defending why he had Asmongold on. And of course, Twitter being Twitter, was definitely not pleased with that statement. However, as much as I wish things stopped there, they didn't. They just kept getting worse. All of this drama resulted in Pirate Software being completely doxxed. And
to be fair, the reason why it continued is because he talked about it in the first place. I'm going to be honest. Pirate Software's best move was just to never acknowledge it at all. Any further. He's making an apology. He should just been dog, it's a video game. Fuck off. Leave me alone. I feel like that's the thing. He legitimately, because he felt bad, they use that to their advantage to try to bully him, harass him, dox him, swat him, all kinds of things. because that's what Twitter is, right? Twitter is freaks, right? People who believe Twitter is a real place are freaks. That's why the term Twitter freak refers to anyone who actually interacts with Twitter like it's a legitimate social media platform and not a cesspit of hell, vitriol, and toxicity. Right? Anyone who legitimately thinks that Twitter is a real place is a fucking moron. And so he does that, which gives them ammo to, harass him, basically. He's weakened. The force is weakened. We must prevail. Storm the gates of his Twitter. Right? Like it's like they're like this, like taking down a pretty, like, decently entertaining YouTuber is basically like Twitter's Helm's Deep. I don't know why killing something that most people think is fun and entertaining is considered a victory. I would consider that an L because now the world is more boring. And now I will point the thumb at you for actually making it more boring if you do ever actually succeed in any of your dumbass shit. But yeah, I guess, like, you actually got an L, but you can take it as a dub, I guess. I don't know why being boring and hating fun is considered a dub in anyone's world, but apparently Matt Walsh thinks that too. Matt Walsh is a pedophile who hates trans women and calls them men in dresses, and then gets exposed for actually wanting to lower the age of consent of the United States marriage because he wants to fuck kids, as well as having a diaper fetish that he advertises as a toy for kids as well, right before he gets the role of Lady Ballers, where he plays a dude in a dress. Which, to me just says that Matt Walsh is not actually against trans women because he sees them as pedophiles. He's against trans women because he's a pedophile and a trans woman, and he hates the competition. That's out of pocket. Hell yeah, and I don't care. I fucking hate Matt Walsh. He's an unfun, advocate, right? He is like basically an activist for boring. Yes. Like even woke activists I have some respect for because some woke things can be fun. Right? Like trans women can be fun. Just give them a massive dick and titties. Like make them hot, right? Like that's the thing. Like make them thick, right? Give me them thick futanari, right? They never do, but like if they did, like I'd be like, ooh, yeah.
Ends up with him getting some voice messages from only the most pristine Modern Warfare 2 Xbox 360 headset lobbies.
We're gonna you straight up, bro. Like,
well, they do, but they just don't do it in video games. To be fair, too. Like actual, I feel like woke in AAA is sanitized because they can't actually get investors to invest in futanari dicks. I wish they could because then the games would be way better. Like imagine if Concord, everyone was a hot chick with massive tits and a dick. Everyone would like it then. The reason it's hated is because it's so sanitized and boring.
I'm not even joking. That's a real threat. We're gonna you later. Hey, just leaving you one more message letting you know you are in fact, and you are gonna count your days. You have 1 week.
And yes, I know, the view count makes no sense. People are view botting the channel, guys. We're reporting it up to Twitch. There's nothing we could do about it. That's kind of how it goes.
And then on top of that as well, for Pirate Software, he ended up actually being kicked from the OnlyFans directly by Soda Poppin'. Despite the fact that Tyler One was actually the new leader, or as they say, in-game, the war chief of OnlyFans, basically claiming that he wants nothing to do with the whole situation. Like, Jesus, I'm not saying Pirate Software is Jesus. Pirate Software is being crucified, and Soda Poppin' is being the Pontius Pilate, washing his hands of the situation. And this is something that Soda's been very vocal about, saying that he just does not want to be involved in this.
Yeah, no, it's just, okay, stop leave me clips. I don't care anymore because it's not going to change my opinion. It's just the weirdest hill I've ever seen someone die on. What a dumb situation.
Tyler One also decided to give his input on the situation and, you know, claiming that a lot of people have taken it too far.
It's crazy. It's all way too much.
It's the funny thing. The people who actually play the game don't actually have that much of a like. The thing is, they're like, hey, you could have done better, and it's kind of just, this is all they're doing because they're actually like, are just playing the fucking game, right? You know, like, so none of these guys have done like anything actually wrong here. You know, like, shit talking after a video game is normal, right?
Yes.
Sometimes you can't handle the shit talk, so you leave the call like Pirate did, and that's also normal. This is all like normal stuff that's being... The drama is really, to me, that it's a drama in the first place, and not just a bunch of friends like shit talking after a match and then like kind of being frustrated that some of their characters are gone forever. Right? Like, I understand like the drama between the friends. I don't understand the drama everywhere else, right? Like, all the other drama should not exist, right? It's not a drama to farm at all, right? Like, there's nothing outside of the initial friend group of the party, like really just the party, but I guess you could also argue kind of the server. There is literally nothing to talk about, right? It is 4 friends who did a dungeon, failed it, and you know, one person made it out. One or maybe 2 people made it out alive. They probably could have done something to help more, but ultimately, it's a game, and most of them, and they all understand it. They shit talk about it between each other, but then outside of it, it doesn't matter because it's a fucking video game, and people are bringing up real life, threatening Pirate and all this shit over this, which is the real issue, right? The issue isn't that these guys were upset, right? The issue is that everyone outside of the fucking game itself is upset. Like, you don't even play the game. Why are you upset? You're playing Counter-Strike. These guys are playing World of Warcraft. You're talking about like killing him for playing counter-terrorist. They're talking about how like he could have played better, played the mage role he played better because he's done it before. Like you're like personally threatening his life in Fortnite. They're talking about like how like it was like a dumb drama that like got way overplayed, right? You know, like...
It's fine.
And Lakari, who's been previously mentioned... Also...
Like, this is what happens with, like, why social media idolatry is so retarded. Like, everyone's idolizing these people so much. They're, like, either they idolized their favorite streamers so much they'll be overprotective of them when they actually do legitimate bad things. Or they hate their favorite streamers, like your favorite streamers, so much that they pray for their downfall, and that is the only thing people have. Like, there's no like, hey, I just like this guy because he's funny, mindset, right? There's none of that anymore, and I hate it because it's like that's not healthy. Like, you shouldn't be simping or hating everyone, you know.
Claim that he's the one responsible for Pirate being kicked.
See, I'm the one that made the call. I actually am the one who linked Soda. Because I saw the, I will take responsibility. I saw the post on LSF. I was kind of like, I messaged Soda. I was like, we gotta talk to this guy. I didn't even say I didn't say we had to kick him. I literally was like, we gotta talk to this guy. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with him, but he can't be acting like this. And then Chance was like, yo, we'll just get rid of him. I was like, okay.
All in all, this situation...
So, like, that's the thing. Like... There's nothing really like major there though. Like, that's the thing. Everything with the people who are actually in the guild, I think is fine. It's the shit outside of the guild that I don't like. Right?
Really sucks. That there are many angles to
like
this.
The guild itself is the drama being within the guild itself, him getting kicked from the guild, whatever, that's all fine. Everything outside of that though is not fine. If you don't play the fucking game, shut the fuck up.
I'm sure some people are incredibly invested, saying that, you know, Pirate Software, he didn't do anything wrong. He just bailed out of an unwinnable situation. Other people are saying that he's a coward. And then there are other people saying that it's just video games.
Kyle, cast arcane missiles.
I'm like, yeah, he might be a coward. He might have done nothing wrong. I don't care. It's a video game, right? They care, right? And they're okay to care. But the people, here's the thing, right? The people who are doing all the death threats and stuff don't care, right? They are using the fact that there is a drama in the guild at all that they don't care about either as a method to harass him over not having anything to do with the guild, but they're milking that as an opportunity to harass. It's sort of like rioters and like a lot of like protests, right? Rioters aren't protesters. They are people who are abusing the fact that people are legitimately angry to steal and loot and all that because they want to, right? The looters, the rioters and all that are abusing people's legitimate anger and upsetness to commit crimes every single time, right? So the people who are harassing Pirate Software are outsiders to the actual issue that do not give a flying fuck about the drama, and they're using it for attention. Let's face it, that's what's happening. Everyone who actually has a say in the drama is over with it. Only people who want to continue the drama have nothing to do with it in the first fucking place.
I told you.
Imagine that. Like they're acting like he committed a crime and he needs to be executed. Like literally, there's people threatening to execute him right now. So.
And to be fair, I'd agree with the latter until I realized how much money streaming made. Oh my god. Jarvis, pull up the clip of Critical showing how much he made on the Starfield stream. Yeah, just play a clip of that as well if you can.
Because this Starfield video actually made $84,000. 84,000 doubloons for a 4-hour stream just playing mid-poop-ass Starfield. The actual... like this one...
I mean, that's true. Like, that's a lot of money for playing a game you don't even like.
It was like an insomnia, try not to fall asleep challenge, basically.
Now, what's happening with this drama is something that I see time and time again, is people bringing up old clips to basically prove that the person that they don't like...
I should watch him. Make him get, like, $85,000. I should watch it again just for that purpose alone, right?
Is a hypocrite. Like, for example, the older clips of Pirate basically crisis managing and saving his party during similar conflicts.
Calm. I'm at a blizzard. Sheep that magus. Sheep the magus.
Slow trap?
Sheep the magus.
I got a bunch of shit on me, guys.
It's okay.
I got... Target dummy.
Just move to me. Move to me. Double blizzard to slow them. Okay, there we go.
Now, Pirate, to be fair, has also came out saying that he gives no blame on OnlyFans members and knows eventually this whole kind of meme machine at the minute will stop. It will move on to the next person with something else, and the cycle repeats. The cycle never stops. It just keeps repeating. You know that meme like Ouroboros, the snake eating itself? That's basically the same with memes.
So, for me, the best thing you could possibly do at that point is just say, eat shit, I don't care. And I'm just doing that. And it's not to the people that are reasonable about stuff, reasonable takes and things like that we don't really have a problem with. It's the people that relentlessly copy pasta from Reddit, relentlessly try to send me death threats and shit like I showed on stream earlier today. And eventually it'll go away. Most of these people will get bored. They'll find something else to get dramatic about. And there will be a small core of people that retain this in their back pocket to be angry about whenever anything else happens again regarding me.
Now, to add salt...
What we call those people is women, by the way. Like, I mean, you know, like, I'm not wrong, but also out of pocket again, yeah.
To the wound, there were a lot of streamers that were clipped for making fun of Pirate Software. Like, for example, Moon reacting to the same clip of Pirate Software, claiming he builds his character to save people.
That was rough.
That was sad. As a mage player, that was sad to watch from two mages in a group, I'm gonna be honest.
It made me physically unwell, yeah.
Boss trying to mimic Pirate Software's movement and also causing Snuppy, the very same druid from Pirate Software's DM run, to die again.
Where is he?
We can also kite him out like towards the end as well, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Are you guys good? Because I'm
Yo, where are you, man? I can't. Why are you grayed out from me?
I'm home, bro.
I am
What?
home. I'm actually home. He can die.
Please, anything! Kill the boss! No way!
Oh my god, dude. This was my bad, actually. I was trolling.
And then Lakari basically pretending to be mad at Pirate for ripping off his photo from the wall.
This shirt, it fits.
I'm not gonna take it away from you. Fuck PirateSoftware! Fuck that piece of shit!
Oh shit.
Jesus. You made it.
So again, like I've seen this happen a lot of times, like where you get memed on by the internet. There are two ways out, okay? There are only two ways out. The easy route is embrace it. If you embrace the meme, no matter what it is, like people can't make fun of you for something and they can't mock you for something if you own it. Or the second one, which is the slower one, definitely draining the venom out of the arm in a much slower way, is to just not acknowledge it, to not talk about it. Not try to defend yourself, even if you believe that you're in the right. Just slowly let it dissipate until the meme machine moves on to, you know, something else. But at the same time, I can definitely see why you wouldn't want to take complete blame for someone losing hours and hours of progression on a single character. The only comparison I can possibly think of as someone that doesn't play World of Warcraft is GTFO. That was a 4-player survival horror game, and you would go into the equivalent of dungeons trying to get an objective done and exfil. The thing is, there were a lot of enemies. Usually, too many enemies for you to handle because melee combat was very finicky and you had basically no ammo. So you could go around stealthily killing a lot of the enemies, which was the main strat to do. And whenever you alerted an enemy, it wasn't my fault. It was that guy. It was the other guy 3 rooms away. It wasn't my fault. And you really don't want to take the blame in that game because one single aggro can make every single enemy on the map just rush towards you, basically causing a game over, making you have to restart the entire run. And yeah, I've done that a couple of times in GTFO. And usually what happens is if I cause it, I just go silent. I don't say anything into the mic because I'm a huge coward. Now, we can run a million billion different matrix theories to decipher whether it was Pirate's fault. Was it directly his fault? Was it I'm currently taking the red pill and the blue pill simultaneously? 200% his fault? But, you know, it's hindsight.
Yeah, like, it's just dumb bullshit that ultimately will blow over mainly anyway, and legitimately nobody actually cares. This is all just people, like anyone who actually does have a legit reason to care is over it, right? The people who aren't over it don't actually give a fuck. Because they never gave a fuck in the first place, because they didn't do the drama and death threats and all that because they hate PirateSoftware. They did that because, Tyler One and Soda Pop are big streamers who had small issues with them. And, they don't even agree with how far it's gone, obviously, because no one really does. So, yeah, like, it's people who are abusing that, who have nothing to do with, they probably haven't even touched, they probably don't even know what World of Warcraft is, right? Like, oh, that's that one movie that really sucked, and Amazon has it on their catalog. That's most of
we'll use the that people until we die, but we'll never really know the actual situation and how it would have played out. But
be like Azathoth. That's what Raven utters, like when she casts her spells, right? Well, that's like most of the people talking about the drama. Like I bet you most of them don't. I paused at a very, 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 very creepy angle, which will be my thumbnail. I will pretend that I am pyrocynical, and I am just creepy, and I have a lot of motion blur on my hands.
Brave statement incoming. I think
that's the thing. For those who are wondering what you can do motion blur with your fucking actual hand, right? Just wiggle your hand, like your fingers in front of your eyes. You will notice that there is a blur on them, because your eyes don't actually work the reason why 60 FPS is better than etc. is better than 30 FPS. Is because your eyes, well, they actually only do I think 24, between 24 and 25 FPS, like the way movies are filmed too, right? The reason, however, that you want up to about 240 is that although they only have that many, frames, having more data is better, right? So 10 times the frames is 10 times the data, because while you only see about once every 24th of a second, you still interpolate the information more than that, right? So you might only see 24 quote frames, but you're still receiving information as long as your eyes are open, right? And even when they're closed, right? Eventually your brain will turn your eyes off, but we'll acknowledge that the eyes aren't seeing anything if you and that's what will happen with sleep, right? But your eyes, right? Your eyes, they always are working. The thing is, you see with your brain, not your eyes. So they're always giving information, but your brain only updates a frame, right? 24 times a second. It's sort of like how rendering works. Your game is always rendering, right? It's rendering in bits, trillions, maybe even quadrillions now of operations every frame, right? It's doing way more than than you might think, right? But at the same time, yeah, it's doing trillions of operations every frame. It's trillions, not quadrillions, but they're doing trillions of operations every single frame, and there's 240 of them. So that means they're doing they're doing quadrillions of of things per second. Yeah, absolutely, they are, right? But yeah, they're doing, but they're not. You're only seeing 240, right? You're only seeing the actual render that to the screen parts. That's a thing to note, right? You technically have trillions of operations going in the computer itself, but if you get 240 frames, you're not seeing all of those trillions of calculations. You're seeing the 240 that rendered the screen. Right, so it's sort of that's how your eyes work too. Your brain updates it, but your eyes are constantly getting information, because your eyes aren't what sees; it's your brain, right? Your eyes are needed to see, but your brain is what actually sees, right? I mean, granted, your brain also is what actually smells and tastes and feels and all that, right? Your feeling is a nerve, right? It's a reaction with your nerves, which are part of your brain. Also, yeah, your brain is actually a lot bigger than what's in your skull. Your brain is all throughout your entire body through the nerve. Your brain and your skin are the largest organs in your body. But yeah, anyway, yeah, so anyway, I find this thing stupid. Now, that doesn't mean I find it stupid for the friend group. I find it stupid that it got outside, right? That's my thing, right? Tyler 1 and Lakari and Sodi, Pop, and all of them being mad is perfectly fine. It's people who have never played World of Warcraft being angry, being mad enough to send death threats that is not fine. That's what I'm saying. It's fine for the friend group to disown their friend because they don't like how he played the game. That's whatever. I don't fucking care. It's not fine to make drama any further than that, though. It's nothing serious. It's a bunch of dipshits playing a video game, and some of the dipshits did something stupid. They got kicked out of the guild. So who cares, right? At the end of the day, the problem was solved. If that was the actual problem solved. So why are we talking about it it's the dude needs to be murdered or something? Yeah, it's just dumb, right? I just don't see why anyone. I just don't even see why it's interesting, to be fair. But yeah, I talked about it. I milked Pyrocynical, milking this drama that's milking the fact that it happened in a video game. that milks its own player base. But that besides that, so yeah. Yeah, because there is no besides it. This is just all around like dumb and should never have happened anywhere near as far as it has. Anyway, so yeah.